How do you tell an emerging economy from a mature economy? Or in other words, what's the difference between a lick, mick, hick and a brick? The World Bank divides 193 nations into three categories: low income, middle income and high income countries. Below are some of the characteristics that you associate with these types of countries. Can you decide where they go? You're now going to look at them in a bit more detail. Here you can see that middle income countries still receive international aid and that most of the world's poorest people live in these countries. You also notice that high income countries or mature economies are growing very slowly. However, middle income countries, where you'll find our emerging economies, are growing very rapidly. Low income countries aren't really participating at all in the global economy. Here we can see that the middle income countries are not all the same. There are high middle income countries and lower middle income countries. Can you decide which country has which GNI per capita? Let's have a look at the results. China is at the edge, at the boundary between lower middle income countries and higher middle income countries, despite the fact that it has one of the largest economies in the world. Are there any other results that surprise you? If we now look at how these countries make their money, Bolivia and Nigeria and Russia to a certain extent rely on their commodities, such as oil, gas and mining. Other countries have focused on manufacturing and export as a way of generating their income. And other countries have still developed further by increasing the mix in their economies so that they're not reliant on one particular type of economic activity. But what about the BRICS? Brazil, Russia, India and China are identified as being emerging economies. There are others. However, China is estimated to be growing at around 10% a year. But what effect does this have on its population? The demand for skilled workers means that workers can demand higher pay, which means that they have more disposable income, which means that they're able to buy things, which means that they're also able to vary their diet and buy different types of food. And there's more money to go around in the economy in general, which means that the government gets more tax and people are generally healthier and better educated. However, on the downside, demand for skilled workers means that people move to cities. Not everyone has the right skills. Money is concentrated in the cities, which means that rural areas are left behind, and the gap between the haves and the have-nots grows ever wider.